Good day, everyone. This is John Malvin Molina from Mapúa, Makati. So I'm discussing all about water cycle. The water cycle is a biogeochemical cycle that depicts how water moves on, above, and beneath the Earth's surface. It is a steady state system, which means that the amount of water on Earth does not change over time. The sun's energy drives the water cycle, causing water to evaporate from the Earth's surface. Water vapor ascends into the atmosphere, where it condenses and cools to form clouds. The water eventually returns to the earth as precipitation, such as rain, snow, or like hail. So the water cycle is comprised of a variety of biological reservoirs, which serve as a storage location for water. Oceans, lakes, rivers, groundwater, and ice caps are examples of reservoirs. So the water in this reservoir is always flowing, and the water cycle defines how water moves between them. Human activities have a substantial influence on the water cycle. These anthropogenic consequences are classified into two types. First is direct consequences. These are effects are induced by humans. So direct usage of water. Water is utilized for irrigation, drinking, and like industrial reasons. So for example, we also have indirect impacts. So these are caused by changes in the environment. So induced by people, deforestation, for example, can increase runoff and erosion, which can result in flooding and sediment contamination. So, according to Le Chatelier's concept, a system will tend to move in the opposite direction of any modifications applied to it. So, this idea may be used to the water cycle to better understand how anthropogenic influences affect it. So, for example, when deforestation rises, so does the amount of water evaporated from the ground surface. So this will result in less precipitation, which in turn will result in less runoff. So this decrease in runoff has the potential to have a number of negative repercussions, including increased floods and drought. Non-native species that have gotten entrenched in a environment are known as invasive species. So these species can disturb the water cycle by altering the composition of the vegetation, which affects the quantity of water evaporated and available for runoff. So, for example, kudzu, it is an invasive plant that has spread over the southeastern United States. So, kudzu is a vine that spreads swiftly and may cover enormous sections of land. So, this can keep water from evaporating from the ground, and it causes floods. So, the study of how environmental variables may create changes in gene expression without modifying the DNA sequence is known as epigenetics. So, even if the environmental variables are no longer present, these alterations can be passed down to children. So, epigenetic alterations can influence the water cycle by affecting how plants and animals adapt to environmental changes. So, a research, for example, they discovered that epigenetic modifications in plants can impact their ability to withstand drought. So, yeah, to sum up things, the water cycle is a complicated system that is influenced by a number of elements such as anthropogenic stress, invading species, and epigenetics. So, understanding how these variables impact the water cycle is very critical for developing methods to alleviate the harmful implications of these pressures.